Hey, this is X-Cult Baby, and on my last video I got a comment from a Christian apologist basically saying, hey, I made a response blog to this video, here's a link to it. It wasn't really worth responding to because, to be honest, he doesn't really refute any of the points that I made in my video. He just throws around some insults about me, makes some assumptions about me and my motivations in making the video, and links me to some Christian apologetics books to educate myself. Although the blog itself isn't really worth responding to, it did raise a point that I've actually been meaning to cover on this channel. Why biblical apologetics don't matter at all. So, I've gotten quite a few comments on my atheist Bible reading videos, and more recently on my Across the Gospels video, basically saying from Christians that I don't know what I'm talking about. They might claim that I don't understand the historical, cultural, or biblical context of the story that I'm reading. Or they might make some claims about the language, that the words meant something else at that time, and that I just don't have the context for those words. Whatever the reason, the accusation is that I'm too ignorant to make a proper assessment of the Bible. And it is true that my atheist Bible reading series is not scholarly. I'm not looking up any sources for information outside of the Bible. All I'm doing in those videos is retelling the Bible stories in my own words and drawing conclusions based on what I'm reading. It's not scholarly reading by any means, and I've never claimed it to be such a thing. And that's kind of part of the point of why I do those videos the way that I do them. Christians believe that the God of the Bible is completely perfect. He's all-powerful, and all-knowing, and all-loving. And they believe that he used human beings to write down the most important book ever, his message for salvation to mankind. This book is supposed to be the perfect book, and God being all-powerful would not have allowed it to become changed or corrupted over time, at least not significantly enough to have changed the core of his message. It's supposed to be the inerrant word of God. And because God's all-loving, he wants the book to be for everyone. It's been translated into so many different languages that almost anybody can have access to this book. Christians claim this book, the Bible, to be the basis for their belief system. So if this book is so perfect and has been written by the smartest being in the universe, it should require absolutely no interpretation to understand it. You should be able to do basically what I do in my atheist Bible reading videos. Pick it up, read it, and get the message just based on what the text says. No matter what your cultural background is, or what language you speak, or what your level of education is, this book alone should be enough to get the message across, right? At least in theory. So, are people who don't have access to Christian apologetics, or even the correct apologetics, just doomed to not understand the Bible? Every apologist who has ever written their own book to explain parts of the Bible, or to justify parts of the Bible, or to give context to parts of the Bible, or to explain away apparent contradictions in the Bible, all of these authors are necessarily admitting that the Bible alone is not sufficient. If it's the case that I can't just pick up the Bible and read it and get the message, either the God that wrote it wasn't smart enough to convey his message clearly, or he wasn't strong enough to keep the message from being corrupted significantly, or he didn't care enough whether or not it was accurately understood by the people who read it, or, maybe this book doesn't involve any God in its writing process. And there are thousands of different religions and religious sects based on this book, so clearly the people that are reading it haven't been having an easy time of figuring out what exactly the message is supposed to be. And every one of these groups will claim that their version, their understanding of it, is the correct one, and everybody else's version is the corrupted, wrong one. And they accuse atheists of taking the Bible's message out of context or deliberately misunderstanding it when, we do things like, read it and say, that sucks. But at the end of the day, if your God is a competent communicator, you would never need church leaders or apologetics to read and interpret these words for you. You wouldn't have so many different groups with different interpretations. So when I do my atheist Bible readings, all I do is read the story and assess it. Does it make logical sense? Does it match up with known historical facts about the time? Is it scientifically accurate? Does it contradict itself? Are the contents of the stories moral? And if reading the text isn't good enough to get what Christians consider to be the truth, then that's all the more reason for me to conclude that your God is either unworthy of worship or non-existent. Yeah, that's it for this video. I know it's a short one, but I thought it was still worth making because that point is brought up so often in my comment section about things that I'm supposedly missing, that I'm missing the bigger picture of Bible stories or whatever. I thought that this video was worth making just for that reason. Again, quick announcement, I am going to be a speaker at Faithless Forum this year, so if you haven't gotten your tickets to that yet, definitely do. You can come out and meet me as well as a whole bunch of other amazing atheist content creators. And I have a link to the Faithless Forum website in the description if you haven't bought your tickets yet. Also, if you haven't watched very many of my videos before, you may not know that I am getting married this year. I just realized I'm not wearing my ring, but I swear I'm engaged. So instead of a gift registry, my fiance Nathan and I decided to just put together a PayPal money pool so that anybody who would have wanted to buy us a gift could just donate to the money pool instead to help us cover the cost of our wedding. So instead of a gift, we would prefer if you're going to get us something, I would prefer you just contribute to the money pool to help us cover general wedding expenses. And I will actually put the link to that money pool in the description of the video if you want to donate. That's all I have to say. I'm X-Cult Baby reminding you to go free yourself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like, leave a comment letting me know what you think, subscribe and ring the bell to see more from me in the future, and share this video with anyone who might enjoy it. Social media links and my email address are in the description if you want to contact me or follow me on any other platforms. An extra special thanks to all of my patrons. I really appreciate your generosity and support. I just don't